next up, our final keynote for the day. I'm really glad we have Anant Nahata, and I hope I pronounced it correctly, probably not at all, here, CEO of Exicom, and he has a really interesting story to tell. So he returned, I guess, fairly recently from the States to India, where he is on the quest to making his family business a market leader in charging hardware. And we are much looking forward to your keynote entitled Exicom's Electrifying Expansion, India to Global. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Anant Nahata, CEO of Exicom, which is a leader in India for charging solutions, and now playing on a global stage as well with acquisition of Tritium. Today we have heard a lot about China companies producing EV hardware, and India is a pretty exciting place as well, and that's where I wanted to start with. A lot of you may know about our country, but it's the most populous nation today with 1.4 billion people. Almost 60% of these people are young, between 25 to 35. It's the 5th largest economy in the world. And even when we consider some of the more pertinent topics globally, like energy transition, is the 3rd biggest country in terms of renewable power deployment and really speeding ahead in electric mobility. And that's why we really believe India has a chance to lead the world in next phase of electrification. And this is because Indian electric vehicle market is an inflection point. As a country, we produce 25 million EVs, 25 million vehicles, out of which about 5 million are four-wheelers, passenger car and buses, which is expected to grow to about 7 million. The EV market, which is quite small right now, it's about 100,000 per year, is poised to grow to about 1.2 million annually by 2030. And this will require 10x more charging stations than we have today at about 10,000 charging stations, and will dispense about 10,000 gigawatt hour of energy. So in a nutshell, electric mobility in India is not going to grow just in percentage, but multiply between 10x to 15x in the next 5 years. And the foundational elements to make this happen is coming true. Today we have input-related and output-related incentives for manufacturing of cells, for manufacturing of automobiles, to put up charging infrastructure, and other things as well. There is already a lot of funding available to founders and companies who are doing great job in this sector. More than $2 billion have poured in various electric mobility initiatives. And what this results at end of the day, you see this busy chart with a lot of vehicles, but by 2030, we will have 50 million EVs on the road. 80% of them are still smaller vehicles like two-wheelers, but we'll have 2 million cars, 1 million cargo trucks, and about 100,000 charging stations in next 5 years. And we spoke about the automobile, but let's shift to the charging infrastructure side. This is photo of a charging hub, a captive charging hub, which was developed by Exicom. So you see many Exicom chargers there. When we see the EV charging infrastructure market, there are about 60 charge point operators in India. 5, 6 of them are big ones. Most of them are regional and smaller ones. There are about 20 hardware providers. And this is about a $1 billion EV charger market. For this particular hub, when we see some of the success matrices, this is comparing to what we see in Europe and US and some of the best in-class charging stations. More than 25% utilization, more than 97% uptime, and 95% plus success in session rates. These numbers used to be much worse 2 years ago, but now they're slowly improving, and even the other sites, which are individual sites or hubs like this, are getting to these matrices. But when we talk about reliability, it's not just about these matrices. You can have a best network with very successful matrices, but reliability, in our opinion, is about a driver. When he reaches that charging station, for him to be able to seamlessly, flawlessly start charging and be able to charge fully. That is what reliability is for us. And to achieve that reliability is not easy, especially in countries where you have various nuances. For example, in India, in our experience, there are vehicles with battery capacity of 15 kilowatt hours all the way to 100 kilowatt hours, which means you have battery voltage range from 100 volts to 1,000 volts. To be able to make power converters which do not which do not have a specific range of operation is very hard because you have to cater to all these small to big vehicles. When we talk about payments, we do not have credit card readers on the charger, but most of the payments are done through prepaid loaded wallets of CPO. So we have to download the application of the CPO whose charging station it is, and the payment gets deducted as a prepaid wallet. Also, 90% of the users in India are first-time users. These are people with low digital literacy and unfamiliarity to public charging. So to be able to instruct them to do a series of steps has its own challenges. There are also some places where India is a lot better than the Western world. For example, getting power connection. Whether it's a 2 megawatt connection or a single site connection of up to 100 kilowatt, we can get those power connections in less than 4 months compared to what I've heard takes even up to a year in Europe and US. So different countries, different nuances, but we have been able to work through these nuances on top of some very challenging conditions like the climate, the hot weather up to 55 degrees, the cold weather, not as cold as the Nordics, but still very cold, very harsh electrical conditions, voltage surges, spikes, and generally a very complex environment. We have been able to work in this kind of environment and behavior and still make great products which focus on efficiency, which focus on power density, on reliability, and overall flexibility given the type of vehicles that we have. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. As far as EV charging is concerned, we have done all kinds of stuff from electrifying OEM dealerships to powering some of the biggest CPOs like GeoBP, which is a JV between BP and Reliance in India, to powering heavy-duty vehicles such as bus and trucks. But we are a hungry company. We didn't want to stop here. We wanted to grow further, grow global, and that's where Tritium came in. We recently acquired acquisition of Tritium about a month ago, and that's something we are very excited by. A lot of people have this question for us, why did you buy Tritium? There are many reasons, but 4 key reasons, and they all have to do with providing best-in-class, reliable charging experience. First is power electronics. Tritium has world-class engineering and power electronics team. We really think power electronics will decide the experience, will have a big role to play as far as the experience of a charging session is concerned. If we talk about efficiency, DC coupled system, power electronics is increasingly going to play a role. Second point, we want to carry forward the liquid cool charger technology of Tritium. We believe that over long periods of time, 15 years, 20 years, liquid cool is the best technology to use for economics, for reliability, for low audible noise. Third, manufacturing bases. With Tritium and Exicom put together, we will have manufacturing base in North America as well as in Asia to serve the whole world. And lastly, though I know, there have to be certain things which have to reset for quality, but we are approaching that from fundamental principles, right from selection of components to validation of product. And all these efforts are supported by world-class product testing facilities, some of the best I've ever seen. So we really saw this as a marriage of, cliche, but East and West put together to produce the best product out there, to really provide you the charging experience that you want. So as customers, a lot of you are here who have been customers of Tritium from a long time, even when this whole EV journey started. What can you expect from Tritium 2.0? I can promise Tritium 2.0 is going to be different than Tritium 1.0. We want to co-create this journey with you. We want to listen to the customers. We want to develop products as per your requirement. But to begin with, 4 things. Number 1, the warranty commitment for your fleets continues. So all the chargers as part of Tritium fleet will have ongoing warranty. Second, Software is increasingly becoming an important part of the ecosystem. You will have continued support through My Tritium platform with many more exciting features which are yet to come. Third, when last 2 years the company was financially struggling, but a lot of effort went into product development, particularly in the new product which we are calling PKM Flex. This is something which will be unveiled, introduced to all the customers next year. This stems from the fundamental principles that Tritium has always believed in, which is great power electronics, liquid cooling, but we are taking some of the aspects to even a higher level, modularity. This product is modular in terms of the AC-DC sizing that you want to achieve, the DC-DC sizing based on the number of plugs you want, and even for features like connecting battery systems to the chargers or connecting solar to the chargers. It really allows customers to design their own station as per their own requirement on the customer side, on the grid side, on some of the DC coupled sources side. And we believe it's going to be the highest efficiency DC coupled system available in the market. If you want to learn more about it, we have a booth here. Please visit us and we can give more information. This is just a sneak view of what you will see next year coming from us. At this time, we are in advanced stages of validation and testing for this product. But when we see the journey of Exicom, it's not only about hardware. There are different pieces to this puzzle. Tritium is one of them. But specifically in India, we are trying to solve a bigger puzzle. The interoperability is not there. Charging utilization is low. And we have just entered into a partnership with HubJet to solve that piece of the puzzle. Christian, if you want to.
Yeah, thank you, Anant, for having me on stage. I know this is a bit of a surprise, but we thought it's a good opportunity to announce our collaboration. And maybe you remember this. I know it's a long day, but today morning we talked about collaboration, right? Especially on global level, because we see there are many, many opportunities out there on global level. And therefore, I'm really, really very happy about our collaboration as well, which we announced a couple of weeks ago. And we are right now detailing out. But we believe that not only the Indian market is already a very exciting one in regards of great companies like Exicom, but there will be many, many, many more great things happening. And therefore, we think it's a good idea to join forces. And therefore, very happy to announce that soon we are going to set up a joint approach for the Indian market, focusing on interoperability and bringing all the great customer experiences we already have seen in North America, in Europe, and many other markets to India as well. And I don't know if you know this already, but in India, I was really surprised to hear that so many CPOs and EMPs are in place, right, Anant? We spoke about it.
Yeah, already more than 60 CPOs, yes.
Which clearly shows there will be, let's say, some complexity to be managed, and therefore I'm very happy and also very thankful to be able to work as subject with such a great company like Exicom to bring interoperability to India as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you. So, yeah, with that, it's a wrap-up. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Please stay on stage for a second. So, thank you so much. Great talk. Also, lots to come in the future. I guess you're on a very exciting path. So let's ask the audience one last time for today. Who has a question for us? I will start by asking you, how are you sort of envisioning this rollout from two fairly remote countries, let's say for Europe, Australia and also India? What do you see as the biggest challenge for your scaling into Europe and your expansion course?
Yeah. So on one hand, when you consider so many geographies, it is a big challenge. But on the other hand, it's an opportunity to bring best of every region, like from India, software and manufacturing, our experience of operating in hard geographies. And from Tritium, they have been innovator in this sector for many, many years to bring in that wealth of knowledge experience to design some of the next generation products. And we are finding synergies working better than the challenges. So that's something exciting for us. in terms of coming to market in US and Europe, last few years, not few years, maybe last 18 months or so, Tritium was in a tough situation and under receivership for 3 to 4 months. So customers had to evaluate alternate options during this time. So just to get that whole business engine going is a key priority. And from whatever we have spoken to all the stakeholders, all the partners, including customers, I think everybody's really excited about Tritium coming back in the market. So overall, yeah, we are quite positive about this journey.
So I guess India is also a great place for developing software, and you're a market leader there in many other industries. So what role does software play in sort of the build-up, the scaling of Exicom?
Yeah, so though it's still early days for EV charging in India, but software is already playing a very big role in reliability. To be able to remotely diagnose the problem, which is still a very manual process in India, and then to be able to do it in a more automated way, and to do it in a way where the CPOs can really cut down on their operation cost is probably the need for hours. So that's an area we are investing in. That's an area we are building more capabilities around.
Also, are you also sort of planning to expand your software product range?
Yes, so that is what my Tritium software is for Tritium. So a lot of CPOs already use it around the world. And we have a very good roadmap in terms of providing CPOs with these features that I just spoke about throughout the year. So definitely an area of focus and expansion.
So please raise your hand if you have a question. Otherwise, I also wanted to know, we've been talking a lot about the heterogeneity of the market, also in Europe and across the world. I was wondering, in Europe, we have all these laws in place that sort of prescribe how many kilometers you can have at a highway between two charge points and stuff to sort of increase or speed up the build-out of charging stations. So is that something, what's your view sort of from the Indian market now that's fairly immature, like looking towards Europe? Is that something that you think is sort of helpful or more hindering?
No, of course it's helpful. So if you are starting something later, you always have the privilege and luxury to learn from the markets which have developed and not do maybe the same mistakes and take all the good things. So in India, generally the mandate or the rule is to have a charging station every 25 kilometers.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure whether it came from Europe or not, but a lot of policies are based on some of the learnings of the West.
I guess you also have a lot of colleagues then who are trying to sort of understand the rules that are in place across Europe and the US.
Yes, of course. So now with Tritium, we have global teams, and we do not only sell in India, even as Exicom, we sell chargers in Southeast Asia, where we have a very good market share, in Middle East, and we just started European operations as well. So to be successful in EV charger hardware game at least, and we saw that from Hotel and other companies as well, you have to be global company.
Yeah.
That's what we aspire to do as well.
So we have a question over here.
Yeah, how does EMP operate in India? How it's different than Europe?
It's not different. It's just it's probably very early phases of EMPs coming to life in India. So maybe 3 years ago there were no EMPs. Now there are about 10 EMPs, and it's difficult for them compared to Europe because a lot of CPOs themselves act like EMPs. Okay. Here the market has matured where CPOs have realized their core job, at least some of them, their core job being figure out the land, figure out the real estate, operate charging infrastructure reliably, seamlessly, and to get the customers, maybe someone else's job. In India, sometimes a lot of CPOs put importance in the reverse order of what I just mentioned. So I think market has to go through that development cycle where different companies figure out their core strengths and then start to focus on that. In early stages, people tend to focus on everything. So that's probably the differentiator.
So that means that there are not that many EMPs in India, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, okay.
There's another question at the back.
Hi, Anant. This is Vishwa here from Steam A. We are a CMS provider from India as well. Firstly, congratulations on your journey so far, especially with fleets. I think you've got a brilliant presence in the market. I have one question for you. Given the scale of the fleet opportunity that you're already tapping in India, are there any innovative experiments underway with the grids? Obviously, the discoms are all government-owned businesses in India. It's quite different from what we see here in the West. Anything that's underway with respect to energy management, demand response management, and so on?
So now we have started to get queries on battery integrated systems, to provide battery integrated systems, particularly to take advantage of nighttime energy charge. There have been some bilateral negotiations of large hub owners with the utilities to be able for nighttime charging and software to enable that. So it's just beginning, but not up till now. Yeah.
Is there a huge push in India also for fleet electrification, so corporate fleets, in order to reduce
Yes.
carbon emissions?
So fleets have been the early adopters for EVs like everywhere else in the world. And fleet is a very large segment in India. And because of lower cost of ownership for fleets versus the gasoline vehicles, I think either all of them have been electrified or decision by companies have been taken to electrify them in the next, let's say 3 years. So that is one of the key drivers for development of charging infrastructure in India, which then helps individual consumers as well.
Yeah, and obviously also, yeah, you need a lot of charging infrastructure once all the fleets are being electrified. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have no further questions. There is a last question. The last question of the day.
Yes, Sam Alawi again. I think we can see each other. If I understood you correctly, in India you are basically a one-stop shop. So you do software, you do hardware, you also operate?
No.
No. Okay.
Only hardware and
so
hardware-related
hardware and
software.
software. And now you basically purchased Tritium that have a very good customer base internationally. You decided to keep the liquid cooling concept because they do it or because you are convinced of it. So I'm really stunned that you want to conquer now the whole market based on completely different strategies, whilst before we heard many speakers today finding it very, very complicated and challenging to do a lot of things and decided to focus on certain aspects of the market. So it's interesting for me to hear your feedback why you are going this strategy.
So, think of the business as a hardware business. We are predominantly a product provider. And we are still in the same business. With acquisition of Tritium, we are going deeper into that hardware business, into other markets, which is not a different strategy. And to become a big product company, you have to expand outside the home country, even though countries like India, China provide really big opportunities. But you see so many companies going overseas, going to other markets. And the same case is with us. Some do it organically, some do it inorganically. For us, it's inorganic.
About the liquid cooling?
Yeah, so liquid cooling, we have done a lot of exercise and data. Over longer period of time, we really believe liquid cool technology, if overall charger is reliable, of course, that has to be the case. It is the lowest cost of ownership in terms of maintenance cost, in terms of reliability, in terms of lifespan. So, at least our view is that the market will move towards here. I don't know, how many years we have to wait and watch, but we strongly believe the market is going to move in this direction.
We're going to be talking about liquid cooling again tomorrow, so
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
join the conversation then.
Perfect.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.